Coming up on Hunter News Now, as President Rob's 22-year tenure comes to an end, Hunter College welcomes a new interim president, and she's hit the ground running.
And updates on Hunter's Purple Apron Pantry that's open to all students with new hours, new options, and a second new location.
And we'll take a deep dive into CUNY's teacher union as it fights for a new contract for higher pay and more remote work.
All that and more on this edition of Hunter News Now. Hello, and welcome to this semester's first edition of Hunter News Now. I'm Nicole Rajgor.
And I'm Lucas Wynn.
We begin with a huge change for Hunter. The college is welcoming a new interim president on campus.
And her name is Ann Kirschner. Kirschner was a tech entrepreneur and the first dean of CUNY's Macaulay Honors College before joining Hunter.
She says her top priority is to make sure the school's largest ever freshman class has all the resources it needs to succeed. She also wants to hear more from faculty, staff, and students who already have some ideas for the new president.
One thing I would like for her to accomplish is, more space to study, because I know this term there's a lot of new students, and a lot of times I'm trying to find a place to sit and study, and I can't, and that's a really huge problem for me.
Kirschner says she has some significant goals for her tenure, including building on Hunter's tradition of academic excellence and social mobility.
And here's one thing most may not know about her. She's an award-winning author and wrote a book called Salah's Gift about her mother's experience during World War II in a Nazi labor camp. That book became a play that's been performed at more than 170 theaters and schools.
Nicole, I don't know if you heard the news, but President Kirschner will be making her official guest appearance for our last newscast of the semester.
Wow, I didn't know that, Lucas. Well, make sure that you guys tune in for that. As we mentioned, Hunter College is also welcoming the largest freshman class ever to campus this fall. More than 24,000 students are enrolled, which probably means you've noticed more people everywhere, in the hallways, in the elevators, on escalators, all of which is making it more difficult for students to get to classes on time or find a table in the cafeteria. The Sky Bridge and corridors are also often full of students sitting on the ground due to the lack of seating, and the subway station is busier than ever thanks to all the construction and commuting students. Speaking of records, we have another one to tell you about. CUNY has been awarded a record-breaking $633 million for research across its 25 schools. That's up by nearly $75 million from last year and will fund more than 2,100 projects. The funding, which comes from private and public donors, will go towards research in public health, climate change, and projects in the arts, social sciences, and STEM fields.
The union that represents 30,000 faculty and staff across CUNY's 25 campuses is hard at work this semester. The Professional Staff Congress, commonly referred to as the PSC, is currently engaged in contract negotiations for its members due to the expiration of the previous agreement in February. Hunter News Now reporter Brittany Franco has more on what the faculty and staff want to see in their next contract.
Sean Dorjohn has been an adjunct professor at Hunter College for 19 years. He's also a member of the Professional Staff Congress. And when he isn't teaching Latin American history, he's fighting for better job security and higher pay.
The university thinks that we are disposable, replaceable people. Many of us are embarrassed to say how little we're paid. And then when on top of it, some colleagues are not even paid on time, this is truly outrageous.
Hundreds of PSC members CUNY-wide feel the same way. Many faculty members have struggled with poor conditions, such as receiving late paychecks, sometimes months past due. And that's why PSC President James Davis has reached out to CUNY's chancellor to come up with a bargaining agreement that pays all faculty fairly and on time. This issue hits close to home for Aisha Smith, whose father worked as an adjunct for CUNY.
To be able to make a salary to actually live on in one of the most expensive cities in America, you actually have to work a lot of different classes at different campuses. And this not only hurts the teachers, it also hurts the students.
Those higher salaries are critical, according to Jennifer Gabori, a lecturer at Hunter who also serves as the chair of Hunter's PSC chapter.
We in the PSC Union have a really ambitious bargaining agenda. We want a range of things, including significant pay, and we want real raises for all faculty and staff.
But Gabori says pay is only a small part of the contract. The PSC is also pushing for reduced class sizes, which would benefit educators and students.
The CUNY PSC has had 7 bargaining sessions so far, but still no deal. Some of the sticking points include raises that exceed inflation and other opportunities for remote work. If you're interested in keeping up to date with negotiations, you can find out more information at psc-cuny.org. Brittany Franco, Hunter News Now.
Hunter College is among 21 CUNY schools providing a food pantry for students. A survey last year reported that 40% of CUNY students experience food insecurities. At Hunter, the pantry's coordinator says the Purple Apron helps the many hawks who have a hard time making ends meet.
We started having more conversations with students about what it is that they were looking for, what types of resources they were looking for. And this idea of a food pantry really started to emerge.
The pantry is set up like a multicultural bodega where students could take home whatever they need, including vegetarian options like tofu, as well as halal and kosher groceries. Even better news, Hunter is expected to open another pantry at Brookdale sometime this fall. Until then, students can check out the 68th Street Pantry on the first basement level of the West Building on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Kudos to Hunter College in the latest round of college rankings. U.S. News & World Report ranks Hunter at number 3 for social mobility and at number 6 when it comes to the top public schools in the Northeast. Hunter was singled out for helping students land jobs and internships to achieve their own version of the American dream. Hunter's senior, Jacqueline Moglia, is one of many students starting to think about her future.
Since I'm graduating soon, I'm planning on getting a full-time job as soon as possible so I can save up for grad school.
Higher education is increasingly seen as a pathway to social and economic mobility, and Hunter College is taking innovative steps to ensure its students have the tools they need to succeed beyond the classroom.
All right, so I always say, if you want a promotion, when you are tracking what you do, that helps your argument, right?
College to Career is a new course at Hunter taught by Professor Jeannie Ahn that prepares students to transition from the classroom to a professional career. During the semester-long course, students practice interviewing skills, writing resumes and cover letters, job searching techniques, and salary negotiations.
Courses like this help them strategize their job search and really push forward in those discouraging parts of the process so that they can do the best together as a group and really make an impact right after graduation.
Another resource is Hunter's Career Center, located on the 8th floor of the East Building. Students and alumni can come here for help finding a job or internship. And that search just got a little easier thanks to Hunter's new partnership with an online site called Handshake.
It's a wonderful recruitment platform for students. There are a lot of employers on there. It's the #1 way to find a job, an internship.
According to Forbes, Hunter College has also been recognized as one of 25 colleges that deliver a high bang for your tuition buck, placing Hunter ahead of some of the nation's top private colleges, including Harvard, Princeton, and Stanford.
Initially, I was really worried about the pressures of a job search, but knowing that I'm graduating with little to no debt really took that pressure off of my shoulders.
Forbes reports that Hunter College graduates will earn back the cost of their tuition in just 4 short months, an impressive return on investment.
Well, Lucas, when I have that extra money in my pocket, our next coffee trip's on me.
All right, sounds good.
Coming up after the break, we'll talk more about what Hunter College is doing to help students launch their careers with the Associate Director of the Career Center.
And an update on how the current job market looks. You don't want to miss this.
Hi, Hunter Career Center. How can I help you?
this out. Recent data obtained from CBS tells us that 75% of recent college graduates are concerned about what the future holds for their careers. It's a pretty common worry.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. Here at Hunter College, the Career Center is stepping it up big time to ease those post-graduation fears. The center is here to help over 20,000 students find the resources they need to shine in their careers. They're turning that daunting post-grad life into a more manageable adventure. Joining us to talk about life after college is the Associate Director of Hunter's Career Center, Shayne Bernstein. Welcome, Shayne.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Let's get into it right away. For students who have been successful landing those competitive jobs, what did they do right? And could you maybe share some success stories or successful strategies?
Absolutely. They do internships before they graduate. So getting that real world experience onto their resume really helps them market themselves. They have examples of what to talk about on interviews, and it really sets them apart. So doing an internship before you graduate is single-handedly one of the best things that students can do.
Right, well, how should students be using the Career Center? What services can you provide for us?
Well, I like to say that it's really what the students want to make out of it. So we have a resume building, cover letters, mock interviews, job search strategies, but we really talk about what the students wants to do. How do you get there? So a lot of students have big lofty dreams, but they don't know how to get that first step. So coming and speaking with a career counselor, we can help put you on that path so that you can achieve those goals.
Awesome. And lots of students, and possibly myself, are going to be working remotely when they graduate. So how has the Career Center adapted its strategies to meet this change in the workplace?
Well, I think we're getting used to it more and more. The Career Center hosts a lot of virtual events. We are bringing employers to talk to students about the workplace, what it means to be working remote. How do you still stay connected and feel that team when you're working remotely? So it's still a landscape that we're navigating, but we're talking about these issues. We're running workshops to talk about these issues, so hopefully students attend.
Well, diversity, equity, and inclusion are essential aspects of CUNY's mission. So how does the Career Center ensure that all students, regardless of their backgrounds, receive equitable support and opportunities?
One of the things that I love most about working at Hunter is walking around the halls because we are a hugely diverse population. So we definitely work with employers regarding these initiatives, but the students that come from Hunter primarily are diverse candidates, and we celebrate that diversity. But we do speak with employers to talk about their initiatives, how we can meet their goals, guiding students to certain career paths, but we absolutely want to represent everybody in the career office.
And finally, to wrap this up, what advice do you have for college students who may be feeling uncertain or anxious about their career prospects?
I think knowledge. So you have to just tap into the resources that are available. One of the best things to do is to create your account on Handshake. What are the jobs out there? What are the employers looking for? What are those transferable skills, those career readiness skills that might be impactful for the type of work that you're looking to get into? So we say awareness is hugely important, but we also work closely in collaboration with other departments here at Hunter to talk about stress management, time management, because we know it's not easy looking for a job or an internship. And so we want to help guide not only from a skills perspective, but from an emotional perspective. So we do run a wide variety of workshops, and you can find those all posted on Handshake or our website. I will say our website is packed with wonderful resources.
Well, again, thank you for being here and for everything you do for the Hunter community.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. I love to talk about careers with students, and I really appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, a familiar face makes her official return to the studio. Our sports anchor, Megan Gleason, joins us to bring you all the action, highlights, and insider scoop from the world of Hunter sports.
We'll also introduce you to our Scholar Athlete of the Week. Find out how she's making her mark on the volleyball court, one spike at a time.
Stick around.
I'm so happy that Hunter offers printing to all of its students. It's really convenient. I have class in 20 minutes and I was able to print my assignment, and it makes organic chemistry a little easier.
Yeah, it's really useful that we get to print things out here at the Hunter Library. I don't really have a printer of my own, so I'm really grateful for this resource. And if it wasn't for the Hunter printers, then I wouldn't have been able to print out this picture of Ice Spice and Taylor Swift.
This school year means a new sports season for the Hawks.
Our sports anchor, Megan Gleason, is here in the studio to give us the latest on all the fall sports. Will the Hawks leave the nest and fly into the CUNYAC championships? We know who to ask. Welcome, Megan.
Hey guys, happy to be here.
Hi, thank you for being here. So what's the 411?
So, as we settle into the fall semester, our Hunter Hawks are coming out strong this season. Let's get started with our men's soccer team. Coming off of a challenging and defining season for the team, they proved themselves to be a gritty and determined group. They've had a rough start to the fall season, losing their first 4 games and tying against their crosstown rivals at John Jay. However, with breakout star senior Bradley Espejo, things could be looking up for the Hawks. He's put up 6 of the 8 goals for the Hawks this season and has been named the CUNYAC Player of the Week. He has been dominating the field. And the team came out on top last week against William Patterson University in their first win this season. And then again this past weekend after a shutout win against the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. This leaves the Hawks at 3 wins, 1 tie, and 5 losses so far this season. You can catch their next game at Field 70 on Randall's Island on October 11th against Baruch College. Now, let's see what's happening on the court, the tennis courts, that is, with our women's tennis team. Seems like the Lady Hawks have all the bragging rights over Brooklyn College this weekend with a 9-0 win against the Bulldogs. And although their hopes were high for their home opener against Pratt's women's tennis team this past weekend, our Hawks lost that match against the Cannoneers, leaving their standing now 2 wins and 2 losses in the CUNYAC League. The team is off to a strong start and seems to have a bright season ahead of them. Their next match will be away against the Ramapo College Roadrunners on October 7th. And last but certainly not least, let's talk about our women's volleyball team. These girls are scrappy, they play hard, and they have fun doing it. Their matches are electric and they have the record to prove it. Our Hawks are 12-5 this season with a 9-game winning streak. Their matches are exciting and their fans can't get enough. You won't want to miss another CUNYAC Player of the Week, Tessa Winkleman, who is dominating the court with kills left and right. Thanks to some assists from players Kiara Abreu and Bethany Tomanyang, these Lady Hawks are traveling tournament to tournament and starting the season with 2 wins and 1 loss in the NJCU tournament, a shutout win in the CUNYAC tri-match, 3 wins and 1 loss following the Western Connecticut tournament, and then a tough loss at the NYU tri-match. Their next home game is October 21st at the Sportsplex, where they will be hosting the Hawks tri-match. That's our sports report. Now let's focus in on our Scholar Athlete of the Week. This week, we're featuring senior volleyball star Isabella Williams. She serves, she spikes, she does it all. This Scholar Athlete of the Week is one to watch.
My name is Bella. I am a sophomore on the volleyball team here at Hunter. I grew up as an athlete. I played sports my whole life, volleyball and basketball, so I knew going to college that was kind of a goal that I had, and going to a school like Hunter made it easy for me to focus on my academics, but also be able to participate on an athletics team as well. My dad was a professional athlete, so growing up with a dad who's a professional athlete, you definitely just obviously grow up in sports, but me and all my siblings grew up playing sports, so seeing them growing up and playing sports in college too definitely were all inspirations to me and made me want to just really perfect my craft. And yeah, honestly the athletics at Hunter is the community's super tight. I know that we like to go to other sports and support their games, and other sports are always supporting us, so I think being an athlete at Hunter is definitely a privilege. One of my favorite moments of the season has just been one of our most recent home games against Kane University. It was really just us playing super scrappy, having a lot of fun. Me and my teammates really supporting each other. And like, to be a coach at a CUNY, you definitely want to like coach. Like, you know, there's not a lot of resources, so you definitely have to like want to be here. The same as the athletes, like we don't get a lot out of it other than like just truly wanting to, you know, play the sports. So we definitely feel like we're in it together with them. How we all kind of like struggle together or triumph together, whether we win or lose, and everything that comes in between. You definitely have a very special relationship with your coaches. So.
You can catch Bella and the rest of our Hunter Hawks at the Sportsplex on October 21st. Hawks up.
And a huge thank you to you, Megan, for joining us in the studio to give us the latest on sports.
And for shining a light on some of Hunter's star student athletes. Well, see you next week. Coming up on Hunter News Now.
We've got a jaw-dropping story coming your way. Baruch College has been hit hard by a malware attack, leaving students with nowhere to attend classes but online. Stay tuned as the college fights to regain control over its systems. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. For our last story, we want to share a cautionary tale about clicking on emails that offer anything that just seems too good to be true.
That's right, Nicole. On September 25th, Baruch College reported a campus-wide malware attack that took down its servers and forced classes to move to Zoom. The campus closed its doors to non-essential faculty and staff for an entire week, with all classes, clubs, and in-person events canceled.
Well, here's the good news, Lucas. Everyone is now back on campus, and the college says no one's personal data has been compromised yet. As for students, they aren't taking this outage too seriously.
Okay, class, does anyone know the answer to question 2? Anyone? Okay, so it's
You got to get on your Zoom. Every morning you got to get on your Zoom at 10.
Baruch College Jr. Lucas Coolin is a little more concerned about what was potentially stolen.
I was pretty worried about my data, other students' data, given that there's been a lot of word about it being a ransomware attack. Most of all, it's pretty embarrassing for the school and for the city.
Cyber attacks are no laughing matter, and Hunter College is warning all students to avoid any scam-like emails.
That's right, like that email we got offering those high-paying jobs for basically no work, or the one that was giving away a Yamaha piano and Eric Clapton's 1939 guitar for free. Definitely too good to be true.
You know, Nicole, I wouldn't mind a virtual part-time job that pays $900 a week or a free guitar. But in all seriousness, don't be the one person who falls for these emails. It only takes one click to put yourself and the rest of the Hunter community at risk.
Well, that's all we have for this edition of Hunter News Now. You can check out all of our student stories on our YouTube channel, Hunter College Journalism.
And be sure to follow us at HunterJourn on Twitter and at HunterJourPGM on Instagram.
On behalf of everyone in the studio, thank you for watching.
We'll see you next time.